Hello, it is the 15th of March 2011, and things are rocking today as we are seeing the price of almost everything take a beating today. And this started fairly early as it happened shortly after midnight Eastern Time as the Dow was down 2% very early. Silver made this move down to this blue line or the Fibonacci level, and then just recently now again breaking below 34 down towards the 38.2% Fibonacci from this high up here at 36 and 3/4 and the low below 32. It's no longer bullish in this time frame. It is now in a neutral state from the entire range of this chart, but obviously it is in a downtrend now. The declining 5-day moving average, brand new declining moving average, and also this trend line has been added, and it's got a an increase or really decrease of that of 2%, and each of these bands is a difference of 2.89% basically. Now, as far as the hourly chart is concerned, failed moves create fast moves, and when you had this big area here, it came out and tested this 36.5 level, which was very nice to see. And since then, it broke lower. So the failed move is trying to break out above this key mark here, where if this selling that I was talking about was to be a success, it would have had to stay below the 35.90 or so level. And or 95 level. Still, that's just pennies anyway. And because it had a decent run above it, that became that of a failure. There's the fast move down below. As far as the volatility is concerned, this is on the hourly chart. Lots and lots of volatility. Now, as far as gold is concerned, on its hourly chart, I got to change this trend line here. I got to go back so we have a downtrend like that, because I put it in yesterday because it looked like just maybe it was going to stay within this range, but a pretty decent fall seeing gold go from 1430 down to 1380. On the line chart, you can see it's making new lows not seen during the duration of this time, which is going back to the February of the 22nd. And as far as silver with the 22nd level, that is not the case, as you can see here. And all right, moving on now to the ratio charts. The gold priced and or silver priced in gold, that would be a double top formation, because what you need is you need a low level to a top. So the low level is about 755, and that was the breakout point. Roughly in here, this was the breakout point of 755. The B point, the next point, is about 790, and it hit the 790 resistance, came back down to 755 and back up to 790, and now that we're back down here again, that creates that of a double top. Now, it still hasn't gotten below the neckline, and as far as the opposite of it, which we'll just, I thought I had an opposite down below it, but that's easily to fix anyway. Now, as far as the gold to silver ratio, that would be a double bottom formation, because the opposite of a double top would be that of a double bottom. And then there we see it right there. There's the double top. And then on the ratio is now back above 41, and double bottom formation. If you take the length of the pattern, that's roughly about $1.50 from 41.5. That gives us a price objective probably up towards the 43 level. Now, on the daily chart for silver, Still really trading within this pattern here of the range with the highs up here and a trend line just connecting the top parts and the low parts. The trend line connecting these little areas in here is on the process of being taken down. It's when I say process, if you draw the line up here, what you'll notice is that the open is decently above the line, but it's now below it. It still has a few hours to try to get above it, and it would still require either a more of a leg lower or some confirmation candles afterwards to confirm that. As far as the volatility is concerned, very, very volatile, of course. Gold on the daily chart coming back down to that level, roughly what I was saying with the Fibonacci was around 1390 or so. And the silver gold to silver ratio, this is how she would be. Now, some more charts here before we get finished on the silver. As far as this one here, let me just change the scaling of it because it's a little too big. Okay, well, that's not what I wanted to do. I'll look at that later. But anyway, the rate of ascent of the 50-day moving average. This is how much it's increasing from its previous day. And if it's above this line, it's an increasing 50-day, below declining. So it's been increasing for quite some time now. And it's showing an indicator for a potential turnaround because we've got this topping formation. It's now established a lower low from the previous one in towards here. And as far as the direction from that 50-day moving average, it can still make that nice higher low because even though you have this little brief period here, I really still wouldn't count that. I still count this as the last significant higher low, but because it was a nice move from 22 to 38%, I would like to see it bounce at this previous resistance, which is about 28-29%, to keep this particular chart in an uptrend. And as far as this line chart is concerned, this is obviously very long term or pretty long term, and it's still in a nice little uptrend well above that 5-day moving average. And it really wouldn't be the worst of things to come back and find support. And really, this chart, I was going to say it's wrong, but it's not because it dipped below 34, and this is what this number is. I guess if we change the scaling out a little bit and see less periods, we'll just do something like this. It's not showing much at all for any clear breaks above this or breaks below for this trend. If you connect a trend line connecting these significant lows, I think everything still seems to be really fine. But if we talk about some fundamentals with what's going on, I guess if Japan and all these different attacks are to bring the prices lower, then we're in for one heck of a ride because it's almost impossible to state and predict in the future that Japan is going to get hit with this and all the reactors are just going to blow and stuff like this. You're getting really specific when you make that kind of prediction. But if you make the predictions as in these sort of events are happening more and more often with higher frequencies, which they are, that at some point within the next so many months, one's got to give. And that's pretty much the case. And you can say that again within the next few months that a nature event, maybe not as big as Japan, but still somewhat big, is bound to happen. And with that, will that bring the price of silver lower? Is the currency still that of a fiat currency? Because for me to get shaken out on any kind of move of this nature, you got to give me good information that the currency is very stable and maybe information that there's a heck of a lot more silver than we anticipated. or that the uses are just plummeting. We don't care for it much anymore. Those are the kinds of pieces of information that I would be looking towards as far as the silver is concerned. So I'd like to thank you for watching this video and have yourself a great day. Bye bye.